Everyone, so we're back with the Wano Report number 38. Today we've got a great guest, JD Legend, a fast-growing YouTube channel. Definitely check him out, or his other channel, JD Scholar. He's got two, because he's ahead of the game.
Hello.
And big shout-out to Pitch Art. You can find her on Twitter in the description, her Twitter link in the description below, for the awesome thumbnail. I think this week's was really, really good. I'm sure many of you are here because you clicked it because of the thumbnail. So, shouts to her. And yeah, what did you guys think about the chapter? I guess, JD, let's start with you.
Actually, it's the first chapter that I've really enjoyed all the way throughout for, I wouldn't say a while, but I'd say maybe a couple of weeks. There's a lot to unpack. There was a lot of things that I think we can discuss about and honestly create your own videos on. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a Sanji stan. It's very well documented. The Sanji stuff was interesting because at first I was really concerned. I was like, oh, not the perverted gag again. And Mors, you honestly saved my life with that video because you really brought some perspective in my mind. Like, okay, Oda does this all the time. All right, it's coming. And then when I realized that, oh, he separated, Espionage Sanji might be coming back, then that's when I was like, okay. I'm okay. As long as like the perversion gag is lowered just a tad, we're okay. So
now I think it would be pretty funny. I think it would be pretty funny if it was just like another time, like it's just basic Sanji humor, nothing else, nothing behind it. It's just pervy humor.
No, but I did hope that video did reach some Sanji fans. So it's good to know that at least in the YouTube community, it did to a certain degree. But,
to be fair, like usually I'm not a very big fan of like the pervy stuff with Sanji. Like sometimes I feel it's overblown. Same with Brook. But in this chapter, I genuinely found it pretty funny. Like this one panel of him, I thought was pretty hilarious. Like what was he saying? Like, I gotta go save the prostitute. I think that was pretty good.
Nah, I feel that. And then the Yamato stuff, the Yamato reveal was shocking. I did not see that coming at all. And I think the way Oda used the Yamato reveal and used Thunder Bagua to highlight, we know exactly who this is, but he used a wonderful action scene as well to introduce Yamato to the story. And it's like, you see his getup, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that later, how he's dressed, the Oden knot, the Oni mask, ulti. There's just a lot to unpack. So overall, just from an organized review, I love the chapter. Really, really good chapter.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome chapter, I also believe. I think we had a lot in there. The only part that I didn't dislike it, but I thought was a bit misplaced was the Zoro and the Kid pages, the two of them. Like, they were basically just like, Zoro was basically a bit annoyed because there were so many of the gifters around, and Kid was just, like, there was no real point there to that, I felt. Like, that page with Kid, I was really looking into it, but I didn't find any deeper purpose with that. But otherwise, I thought the chapter was, like, really, really great from start to beginning. Like, I think the Perospero stuff is also really interesting to talk about if we want to, like, start at the beginning. Did that surprise you guys that like Big Mom's not gonna be alone anymore, and there's actually someone from her crew coming to join her?
Yeah, there's some weird. The Perospero thing's kind of weird, right? Like, because it's just why Perospero specifically? Like he could definitely carry some more people on that candy thing. I'm pretty sure. So, like, either the crew got separated or whatever, and then, like, they're gonna get there one by one or something along those lines, or, I mean, I don't really know why it's just Perospero. Well, it's not like I'm, like, out of all the Big Mom pirates there, Perospero's the one that I want to see more of right now. Like, Smoothie, I think we can all agree that's who we'd want to see.
I had the feeling that Perospero is, like, he was, like, since the Big Mom pirates arrived at Wano, I had the feeling that Perospero was, or Oda was trying to make it really clear that Perospero kind of has the feeling that, he's at least second in command in the crew, if not even higher. Like, he kind of likes to do his own thing. He already was saying, like, if Mama dies, like, I'm going to be captain and everything. So I think, like, what Oda's trying, like, in this chapter, he's going, like, no, like, I want to, like, this alliance is definitely not happening. And Smoothie and Daifuku, they were all, like, trying, like, going against him, basically saying, no, like, if anything, Katakuri's going to be the next captain. And, like, first of all, we should, like, trust Mama and everything. So it feels like Perospero has probably left the others behind and like is trying to do his own thing and like trying to get the best out of the situation for himself, I guess.
It's interesting because with Perospero, a lot of people ask why is he just by himself? And I think what's possible, and this is just a theory, it may not happen, but I definitely think that he probably showed the Big Mom Pirates and the chateau, the port that was mentioned earlier on when Big Mom was getting dressed. He probably went on his own to figure out where that port was on the Candy Slug, and then told them to go up on the port, and then he by himself is gonna reach Mama by himself, so he can just go around and go straight to Onigashima. So I'm thinking that's what his plan was, and say the Big Mom Pirates enter through the port, and then at that time we've always seen Perospero kind of separated, especially in Whole Cake. It was Perospero and Big Mom, and he was kind of leading Big Mom, and I feel like he's the only one that has Mama's ear, since he's the oldest as well, and he's probably the most cunning out of all of them. So I think Oda's going to use that plot point again, where it's going to be like a Big Mom, Perospero team up again. And he's probably going to convince her to break the alliance.
You think?
With Kaido, yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
I rather feel like there's going to be some conflict between the two of them. I feel like that's what, like, that was already kind of set up, I feel, with the chase the two of them had when they were chasing behind the Straw Hats. Like, Perospero was already manipulating her, and, like, he was already shaking, like, oh, shit. Like, if this doesn't work, like, I'm going to be the one who she's going to go after. So I'm curious how, like, what it's, but I feel it definitely, like, we talked about this last time, March. We were kind of like, okay, what's Big Mom's role going to be if, like, they're just going to keep getting pushed down the waterfall. But, like, now it seems like there's actually some people on the way.
Yeah, and going off what JD said, like, the fact that, like, you know, Perospero Big Mom team up was, like, highlighted before. This was, like, something, I forget, somebody commented on it, like, maybe it was YouTube or Twitter or something like that, but somebody was saying, like, you know, maybe they're playing up the idea of, like, Perospero, Big Mom, Kaido, Yamato, Momo, Oda, like, you know, the first son sort of, like, that might be kind of significant or something like that. I don't know. Like, there might be a reason that it's specifically Perospero going there, when, like, we already know that Kaido and Yamato's dynamics can be, like, a little important or something like that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's going to be, you know, antagonistic, or if it's going to be, you know, Perospero speaking some truth in her ear, basically. But I do think that somebody might be on the right track of saying, like, this is going to be important for, like, sons and parents or something along those lines. I don't know. Could be interesting. Also, Weevil's running around. Although Weevil's not really Whitebeard's kid, but, like, I feel like Weevil is somehow going to show up during the Wano arc, but that's just my personal thought. Anyway, wait, what do you guys think about, like, the actually interesting parts of the chapter, which was, like, first of all, how do you feel about the ulti and, I guess you could count ulti and page 1, although page 1 really didn't do much, but, like, ulti page 1 Luffy fight.
Yeah, page 1 is paying a lot, I feel. Like, every time he pops up, like, he's either getting, like, one-shotted by someone, or, like, punched in the face, or, like, talked back to by ulti or something. But I really like the dynamic between ulti and Luffy. I feel like they, maybe it's a bit early to say that, but I feel like they almost have, like, similar characters in a way, right? Like, this entire, I think I said it in my review, I felt like the scene where ulti, like, basically asks, oh, what did you do to Pepe? And Luffy is like, wait, you just literally rode him down the stairs into the ground. I feel like if that were the other way around, like, that would still make sense and would still super be in character if that were Luffy riding, like, one of the Straw Hats down the stairs and then, like, asking, like, some of Kaido's men, like, hey, what did you do to Zoro? So I feel like the two of them have, like, a cool chemistry that I really enjoyed, and I hope we'll get to see that again. What do you guys think?
So I liked that whole exchange because, one, I think it was nice to see Ulti's hybrid form so early. I didn't think we'd get that. I think her design for a hybrid form is really, really nice. And then kind of we were able to see how Luffy had to get serious at that moment in time. The moment where Luffy said, all right, I'm fighting a Yonko's crew. I can't mess around anymore. Like, I actually have to be serious. And the moment he got serious, we saw a fighting style from Luffy that I wasn't used to seeing. Seems like he had this battle awareness where he's throwing feints into his attacks now, especially with page 1, where he went up above page 1. Vanished, and then hit him with the uppercut. I said, I don't think I've seen Luffy use feints before. I said, that is really nice. So, like, that exposition was really, really good. And then, obviously, Ulti, I think we can put some respect on Ulti now because she was kind of going toe-to-toe with Luffy. Haki, Gear 3rd, and everything. And I understand he has Gear 4th, but that's for the big boys. So I'm not worried about that. I think it's just nice to see that the Tobi Roppo are not just going to be fodder. but they're actual strong combatants with really powerful moves. And that headbutt, even the fodder were like, oh my god, that headbutt normally destroys walls. Luffy's probably gone. It's just like we're adding a lot more hype to the Tobi Roppo, and you can only imagine who's arguably the strongest. Imagine what he can do. So
Definitely.
yeah.
I think Sasaki's the strongest.
You think Sasaki's in chains right
Yeah,
now?
he's in
dude.
chain. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
but like,
Come on.
Denjiro's strong too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, obviously they didn't fight or anything like that. Well, okay, I'll say this though, right? Like, who's who is most likely? Okay, we all agree. I don't know if we all agree, but Yamato is probably going to end up getting taken over to the banquet, right? Because Kaido did need him for that announcement or whatever, and plus, we do want to see that setup where like a Calamity fights when the Tobi Roppo, right? So, I think that Yamato is going to ultimately get captured some way. And I feel like the way Oda set it up so far is like X Drake's not interested in the hunt. Sasaki got captured. Black Maria's not interested in the hunt. Ulti and Page One just got, taken out of the hunt. So to me, that's basically who's who is left, right? Like I think who's going to end up with Luffy and Yamato.
That's a good point.
So somehow who's going to be bringing Yamato in, I feel. And I don't know how it's going to make sense because Luffy's with him and Yamato seems really strong. So God knows how that's going to happen, but that's my thought.
I would like that. Though I feel like there's still the possibility that Yamato like discusses something with Luffy, why he's been waiting for him or whatever, and then says, okay, like now that we finally met, now like I wanted to look for you and tell you this and that, but now I'm gonna go back so like everything can go according to whatever I'm planning or whatever. So I could also see that, like Yamato going back on his own terms.
Okay, I do want to see that fight between the Tobi Roppo and the Calamities, though. Like, I don't know what the point of that fight. Oh, by the way, this is one thing that I think. Okay, so with the Zoro and the Kid pages, I agree. The Kid page made no sense. Like, it was just there. I think like Oda just had to establish,
Right.
like
Zoro,
Kid and Zoro are they're occupado for like a minute.
Zoro
But,
had
like,
more to it, like with the captain thing and like
Yeah, I
basically
like the
them
Zoro
mistaking. Okay.
I like the fact that it turns out that all these gifters are captains that have been like shoved in, because like it makes for like a really interesting crew, like it's a crew entirely made up of captains, it sounds like. And that's why like they're the most
crew.
Yeah, that's why they're the most like they compete with each other the most basically out of all the crews that we've seen so far. Like it makes sense that it's like such a hierarchy struggle because that's just basically the crew type that it's composed of. It's just composed of a bunch of leaders. So I actually did like that Zoro panel for giving us some context. But, besides that, I think that...
Yeah. And it was
basically fine.
I guess it was also nice that like they seemed to assume that Zoro was also the captain of whoever was invading. so I thought that was pretty funny as well. And I think that like in general, also like it showed that like Zoro was not hardcore struggling with the gifters, but it showed like they could push back at least. Like they were not simply Zoro walking through without even batting an eye. So I thought that was also important because I think it has to, like Kaido's crew does have to have some edge to it, right?
Yeah,
Jay,
yeah.
Jay just,
I mean...
what's he looking for?
JD has disappeared for a moment.
It's like a live show here.
I'm sure we'll get
Yeah.
him back.
Yeah, he'll be surprised when he listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
just commenting on him. One thing.
You all good, dude?
I'm sorry.
Do you find what
I'm-
you were looking for?
You all good?
They needed a laptop for something. I don't know, man. All right, I'm here. I'm good.
All
Oh,
right.
then.
I
Just commenting on you for a
was just
second
like,
there.
what is going on here? Not now, of all times, but yeah.
All right. Well, the
One
people
thing-
of the podcast know we didn't stay quiet about you not being here. So, anyway,
One thing I
yeah,
thought was
think-
interesting in this chapter,
Yeah.
because, like, I don't know about you, Jay, what you think about it, but, like, in general, Morch is more open, I would say, to power scaling than I am in One Piece.
Right.
Because for me, it's like, I personally feel like there is not a lot to go off in One Piece, where a lot of people are speculating like, oh, the admirals are that much stronger than the Yonko, and like this guy's commander
I don't
level.
think anybody says the admirals are stronger than the Yonko.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, so,
I think
sorry,
they say they're
didn't.
equal.
I just was
I've never heard
throwing shit
anybody
out
say
there.
Very smart position to take. Yes.
But I feel like we haven't seen enough fights yet to actually, like, for most of the really strong top tier characters, it's really hard to say who's stronger. And I also believe like One Piece has this more open fighting system and power system in general. But in this chapter, I felt like there was some, like, the fights between Page 1, Ulti, Luffy, and so on with the gifters. I feel like there was a bunch of stuff going on that I felt was giving us at least some proper, something you could actually go off and argue off. Like, you could argue, oh, Ulti is definitely, it seems she's definitely stronger than Page 1, for example, right? I think that's pretty clear. And then, like, she does seem to at least pose a serious threat to Luffy that he was preparing to go into Gear 4th, right? So stuff like that. Like, this is something I can actually, like, when you're arguing based on these things, I'm like, okay, you can power scale with that, but you can't power scale, like some people who, like, oh, this guy is commander level because, like, thinking around 8 corners. So
No, I know what you mean. And okay, to me, what you said basically makes it sound like, okay, it's difficult to power scale some people because we don't have enough information. But to me, that's not the same as saying that there is no.
Oh,
scale,
no. I'm not saying
right?
that. I'm not
Oh,
saying that.
Okay. Yeah, so like admirals and Yonko, like I could see both sides of the thing. Like I could see them being equal. I could see Yonko being stronger overall. And JD's having some stuff's going on.
JD's having a party in the background.
Yeah, no, there's just children upstairs right next to my room screaming. But fortunately, I have a quick mute button, so it's all good. No, but I hope I didn't interrupt. By the way,
No, not at all.
no. So actually, to
There's
your
nothing to interrupt.
so you're definitely more on the Grand Line review side of things in regards to power scaling. I'm guessing, or
Well, I like, in general, I do like power scaling. I just don't like power scale. Like, I do love it when people get heated and fight each other, but based on, like, no facts at all. I think that's hilarious when people shout at each other why someone is Yonko level and why someone's not. I think that's hilarious. I just feel like in One Piece, like, all, like, most of, like, we have literally seen none of the admirals and none of the Yonko, if I remember correctly, go full out in any fight. Like, in Whole Cake Island, we didn't see Big Mom go full out ever. We didn't see
I
Kaido
agree
go
with you
full
with
out.
the top characters.
Yeah.
Much. Like, because Oda's deliberately hiding him. But like, for example, we know that Toby Roppo are stronger than we know the Calamities are stronger than the Toby Roppo because there's like a clear.
Well, are they though? Because like they're like the Toby Roppo, they are looking for this chance, right, to get into, and like looking, like, if they knew that they were gonna lose, like, they wouldn't have this ambition to fight them and like get a rank.
I will go out on a limb and say that based on the fact that Oda named him King, Queen, and Jack, and then a whole bunch of people who are not King, Queen, and Jack, my sense is that we are going to see that the Toby Roppo are, like, I don't think we're suddenly going to be swapping it out and it's going to be like King, who's who, Jack, because that just kind of throws off that symmetry, you know what I mean? So my sense is the Toby Roppo think that they're strong,
Right.
but like that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to, like, just look
No,
at the
yeah, no, it
three
doesn't
Calamities
of
pretty
course.
much, like.
I mean, it could go any way, but like, I took it as if King, Queen, and Jack were basically positions inside Kaido's crew that were not assigned, like, to any specific person, but could be attained by the strongest person. And like, the impression I got of Kaido's crew is there is always room, and it's actually promoted that people fight for certain positions to rise through the ranks if they can and if they want to.
Okay, I agree with that. I guess it just depends on like what we're actually ultimately going to see, basically. Because my assumption so far is like, Jack's got a billion berry bounty. I don't think he's going to be like demoted to Toby Roppo, or I don't know. We'll see. JD,
What's
what do
your
you think?
thought?
so
Yeah.
my argument would be
Break the tie.
break it the right way.
I think so. I definitely think the Toby Roppo are a lot stronger than people think they are. Especially who's who. My idea around the Toby Roppo is from Kaido's crew. You normally see that everyone that's under Kaido's crew has been subjugated in some way. So my thinking is that since these are all former captains, that the Calamities, say like King and Queen in particular, were the ones who directly subjugated Who's Who and Satsuki, and that's why they have that little grudge in between them, and they kind of want that payback fight. So I don't think they're really paying attention to Jack, because it's possible that Who's Who and Satsuki could be as strong as Jack, if not stronger. It's possible. And if that is the case, then Who's Who being at a Calamity level doesn't surprise me. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna beat him per se, but I think it's actually gonna be a good fight, or he could get one shot. I hope that's not the case though. But I think we're underestimating the Hillgrove. Oh my god.
I love this.
I promise that we actually can't hear that much over the speakers.
Oh yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
not that bad actually.
Okay, all right,
It's
good.
just pretty funny.
I was getting
It's
scared.
your expressions more so. That's
just like-
funny for me.
Now you hear that though.
Dude,
Yeah,
Jay,
yeah.
wait, like what? Do you have children in your basement?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope the perception of me is not going to be poor after this.
It's just kids screaming in the back.
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing?
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. And I'm also like, I think we can all, like, all three of us can agree that it's really refreshing that the Flying Six are not only strong, but also, you know, they have this cool design, they have this
Yeah.
cool dynamic. They're not really fitting into the crew. They're kind of like trying to do their own thing still, you know. So I like everything Oda's done with them. And at the same time, I still think the All Stars are still super exciting. Like, I still love Queen. I think he's awesome. I mean, Jack doesn't have too much personality to him, I feel, but like the way he was introduced in on Zoe was awesome, of course. And King, we still have to see. Like, he seems more like the quiet type, but
He seems a little crafty. Like he tricked those Toby Ropo and such.
but then again, like him pushing off the Big Mom Pirates was already like pretty
That was
like
a good
matter of fact.
introduction
Like the
scene.
way up, like he did it, like matter of factly. That was pretty funny as well.
It's just like, yeah, just loaded the Yonko. One thing I'll say about Jack is like, I think it kind of sucks for Jack because like there was a lot of hype around him. Like people were excited for his character when he was first introduced, and his whole character was appealing because it was just this really brute force, intimidating force of nature type creature. Like he did literally seem like a calamity that when he landed on Zoe or whatever. And that was the main appeal of his character, that it was just such a raw force, basically, that was walking around and just didn't give a shit and would, do whatever or cause as much damage. But then that kind of gets taken away from when he's being bullied and kind of picked on by other characters, you know what I mean? So, like, with Queen, he's going to be Queen no matter what. Like, his personality is his personality, basically, but like he's quirky and weird and zany and an Okama and stuff like that. But like with Jack, it's kind of like the appeal of his character kind of goes away when you see him. It would be like if we saw Kaido on Rox's crew. Well, no, that's not fair because that was young Kaido. I'm just saying, like, if we randomly saw Kaido placed with a bunch of characters who are just like bullying Kaido and making fun of Kaido, then like a lot of what makes Kaido cool kind of goes away in that same way. You know what I mean? So I think Jack, if we see him more on his lonesome, then he might be a more entertaining character again. But when you pair him with King and Queen, it's just like, look at Jack.
You know what's interesting? Do you think it's a case that Jack's personality is why they bully him so much because he's more quiet and reserved? It's kind of like a Page One complex with Ulti, where everyone thinks Page One is so weak because he has this kind of inferiority complex, but in actuality, he actually could be stronger. But it's the way his personality is presented to us that we just assume he's weak. Because Jack, like you said when we were first introduced into him, I don't know if it's a translation error, but they introduced him as Kaido's right hand. And
I remember, that seemed like people bought that for a
seems-
second.
They did.
It
but
seems
was
like a
also
translation
famous.
error.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a translation.
But I know what you're saying.
And then obviously,
I mean, maybe like if by right hand man they mean what happened in that one panel with the Toby Ropo where he was just basically like being the bouncer next to Kaido. Like maybe that's what they meant. He's
I
just
see
always-
what you mean.
yeah,
Do you know the panel where he's like?
I know
just
exactly what.
standing there?
Yeah, it was just like he was just like kind of in the corner where people didn't even notice Jack was there. I was like, no, he's there. He's just chilling, like like a villain.
Dude, Jack looks kind of like that dude who's standing in front of the club, like checking. Like,
Jack
who's
definitely
going in.
could be a bouncer. Yes, just a quiet bouncer that never says anything.
Yeah.
I could definitely see
Like
that.
7 feet tall or something.
But I do.
He's not 7 feet tall. He's like
No. But I mean, like,
He's talking about in
I know what you
human standards. I actually think I think it's interesting because the scabbards, the scaling in regards to the scabbards, like we saw Ashura Doji versus Jack. So I'm wondering if the scabbards are actually gonna fight Kaido's men in particular. So like except for King, I think King and Marco that might happen as well. But King or Zoro, But from what I'm seeing, I feel as though there is a specific vendetta that the Scabbards have with Kaido's crew in particular, and then obviously Orochi's men. But the main Scabbards like Denjiro, Ashura Doji, Nekomamushi, and Inoarashi, they're definitely going to want that rematch with Jack as well. So I think that if we're going to scale the calamities, we kind of have to match those main Scabbards up with the calamities as well, especially Sulong as well. Sulong is going to be a complete game changer.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for sure.
So-
and I
Sulong's
really
busted.
wonder. Do you feel
Yeah.
like we'll only get like we'll only get like Nekomamushi and Orochi and like Carrot, or do you feel like we'll get the entire squad that's there with them?
to fight Jack.
Oh, going Sulong?
No, like in Sulong.
Oh, Sulong. I think Sicilian or Pedro mentioned that only a couple of Minks can do it, and I think you have to be at a specific level. So like the Musketeers.
But those are like pretty much the elites, right?
Yes. So like the main Musketeer. So the zebra guy you see.
Yeah.
I don't remember
lion.
the gorilla that's with the gorilla and the bison guy that's with Nekomamushi. I think those are the Sulong guys you're gonna see. So basically, I think Carrot is like the cutoff point. So anyone that isn't stronger than Carrot at the moment in time, I don't think you'll see them go Sulong. That's my guess.
Like yeah, you're right. Like Peckham's tried to go Peckham's tried to go Sulong, but it didn't go so well. I remember it looked really silly compared to what Carrot had transformed into. So it just I mean, on the one hand, I would really hope that we'd get like a scene where it would just be a really, really cool visual if it's just like dozens of minks going into Sulong transformation. But I mean, like you said, it is a more elite thing, so it doesn't seem like that's like in the cards, I guess.
I think what we can count on is that like whenever and whoever goes into Sulong, I think it's pretty clear that that'll be like some sort of like there will be some sort of resolve or some sort of pinch someone will be in. Right?
Yeah.
Like it'll be some dire situation and then suddenly the moon comes out or something. Like
Dude, because it's such a boost. It's
The
like
only-
a crazy boost.
the only thing I'm thinking is that by then the battle will have to be outside somewhere. Because right now nobody will be able to go into Sulong if they're inside the skull.
Yes. And you guys know that, like, again, in my opinion, this isn't the final battle and stuff like that, but totally could be. I still just don't think it is. But one thing is that for the record, full moons in One Piece happen pretty frequently for whatever reason.
Because they have so many
Just-
moons.
I don't believe they have many moons. I know that when people say it has many moons, they like reference that like
globe?
What is
The
it?
Ohara
Yeah, that
globe,
Ohara. In
Yeah.
Ohara, there was that model or whatever.
You think that's planets?
Yeah, I think those are just planets. Because like if it's One Piece is a period piece, right? Kind of. It's just like back in the day, people thought that like most places revolved around the Earth. You know what I mean? So that thing in the center, I assume, is the Earth, and then it's just like the other things are planets. I don't think those are necessarily moons. And like they've only ever referred to one moon in the series, so I don't buy that there's multiple moons till we see anything else that suggests it. But anyway, there's multiple full moons pretty frequently. Like they get a full moon every week or something like that from what it looks like so far. So I do think that if this is not the final battle, then it could easily have an opportunity for a full moon later. Not to mention, like, both Kaido and Big Mom have abilities that let them, like, cover up a full moon, like clouds and stuff like that.
That's a very good point. Because Zeus we've seen Zeus get very, very big out of
Yeah.
nowhere and basically cover. Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
that's a good point.
And then the first thing that Kaido did, like, when he came in dragon form was, like, cover the
Right.
sky. So in my mind, it's like, it would have, I don't know, like, it could be here that we get the full moon transformations and stuff, but in my mind, it's like they could easily do this again next week, and it's, like, Kaido and Big Mom could put a stop
Right.
to the full moon this time, and they could do it next week. So,
I mean,
that's just me thinking.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many options, variations to this could happen. Like in theory, you could also say that someone like Luffy punches a big hole into the skull or something, and then like the moonlight comes in that way. I don't know.
Dude, I mean, I like the fact that we don't know what's going to, like, I think there is, like, a lot of, like, we don't actually know what's gonna happen next, right? Like, whether you've been liking Act 3 or not so far for me, it's been mixed. I obviously really like the last chapter. But, like, I do like the fact that we thought that it was gonna be more straightforward, like, they get to Onigashima, it's a big all-out battle and stuff like that. But already there's, like, lots of new plot threads that are popping up, like, this whole banquet itinerary that Kaido laid out. He's like, first we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do that, then we're gonna announce this. Like, none of us saw that coming. This Yamato stuff, the Tobiropo agenda. I just like the fact that, like, we don't really know what's coming around the corner, and it's not just gonna be straightforward. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I feel like in general, like this, like the last couple of chapters really threw some curveballs in there, like the Yamato thing, but also like Big Mom chasing Nami, and so on and so forth. Now, so it's really
Yeah.
hard to say what's gonna happen.
One thing I'll say. Yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, sorry, go for it.
No, just one thing I'll say is basically like somebody had commented too that like on my chapter review that basically one thing that no YouTuber has talked about is Momo's crucifixion or whatever, and that's probably just because that's like the one plot thread that pretty much nobody cares about
yeah.
because I think we all know in our hearts that it's not gonna go anywhere significant. You know what I mean? Like there's no way Momo's actually gonna die here. There's no way he doesn't get rescued. It's just like a thing that's happening, and we're all like, okay, next page, basically.
I would actually argue that Sanji is probably going to save Momo as a result, considering the raid suit has invisibility. I think. I think we'll see the raid suit's new design with Sanji saving Momo. Obviously, Sanji and his espionage moments. So if he's off on his own already, he's gonna have the clutch moment, and the clutch moment is he's probably gonna rescue Momo. And my dream is that when he does rescue Momo, he sees Queen. And then Queen is like, ooh, okay, who's this? And then they actually have a fight, and then my agenda gets pushed further. And I mean, that's my dream. That's what I'm hoping for if it happens.
Okay, I could definitely see the Momo thing becoming significant in that way, and that is actually like a really good call for. Like, it just makes sense if somebody's gonna rescue Momo.
Right.
Like, Sanji's probably by far the best equipped to do
Absolutely.
that. So
I
I would definitely
personally-
agree. And plus,
yeah.
Queen's like up on that stage and stuff too, so Queen would probably be nearby.
Yep.
So definitely agree on that. But I'm saying like Momo's little plot line on it's like it's interesting if it's like a Sanji plot line that ends with him saving Momo. But Momo's own plot line, I don't think anybody's like on the edge of their seats like, oh man, I wonder if does Momo die next chapter.
Yeah.
Well, I
Something
think it's
like
I think
that.
it's a good storyline. It's just there's not much to speculate about because it's just Momo and he's basically like he's chained up and then someone will have to make their way there first. So there's not much to speculate about there or talk about. One thing I like the Sanji theory. One thing I could also see happen, what I personally think might happen is that Momo's execution moment, like basically it's gonna be Kaido's speech, and then it's gonna be after Kaido's had his speech where whatever is revealed, if it's a wedding or whatever, with his son, with Yamato, then Orochi's gonna like try to shoot or whatever. Like however he's gonna execute Momo, he's gonna try to do that. And I believe that this will be the moment when like a couple of, if not all of the troops kind of arrive at that spot. And I feel like that Momo's execution will be where I feel like Kinemon has to see Momo chained up there, has to have like a moment of despair there. And I believe I feel like Momo's execution moment could be the moment where like the big battle actually erupts, like it could be the trigger.
Wait, shit. You think Momo's actually potentially
No. I think Momo's gonna survive for sure.
Okay,
But
okay.
I believe it's gonna be like one of these last second thingies, and I do believe that I do believe it's a chance for Momo's character first of all, and I also do believe that since Momo is factually the leader of this raid, kind of.
Yeah, the word factually in front of that, yeah.
I do believe that it would make a powerful trigger moment for the entire battle, like for the entire raid to be revealed, right? That oh shit, there's actually a lot of troops here, and they've all slowly made their way towards this plaza and everything. So I could see that happen as well.
Okay, that's actually definitely true. That could be like kind of the breaking point of the thing. I guess I just don't care enough about Momo. It's weird because I like Momo in moments, but then there's like long stretches where I don't care about him, but then I like him in moments. Like I like the fact that he did try to fight against Kanjuro.
Yeah.
I liked
Shouldn't do that with your girlfriend.
whatever
bro.
happened in the prison.
Absolutely
I thought he had good moments on So. But yeah, day to day, I don't care about Momo too much, I guess. But I agree that he will it is going to be important, especially with Yamato in the picture. It's
Right.
probably going to be important.
Well, speaking of Yamato, and since Jay just had his like little Sanji fanboy moment,
Yeah. Are you a Yamato fan, Ohara?
I
Already?
am, and like okay, I mean,
That Thunder
like, this
Bagua
is-
really
I'm
did.
saying this like 50% jokingly,
Yeah.
but it would be really cool if Kaido's son joined the Straw Hats. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's actually
That is a
interesting.
stretch.
That's actually very interesting. Yeah.
Like, we know nothing about the guy, but just like the fact that he doesn't look super quirky so far, and that he's actually capable of fighting, and that he seems to be an ally to Luffy. I just think it would be
Yay.
pretty dope. Like however this ends, and I still strongly believe that next to Carrot, maybe we do still need one member for sure from Wano to join.
Yes.
And right now, my cards would still be on Tama, but I'm not so happy with Tama, I guess. So I feel like Yamato would be pretty badass.
So actually, so there's a consensus. There's some people that are mentioning, right? So they say Yamato's a big fan of Odin, right? You see the get up, the knot, and everything, right? I think they're saying that Yamato might want to just leave Wano, but Kaido won't let him, and he kind of has that
That's why he
same
has the
syndrome.
cuffs
Yeah.
on?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he has the same syndrome as he wants to leave Wano the same way Odin wanted to leave and discover the world. So that plot point could come into effect where Yamato pulls an Odin and just hops on Luffy's ship on the end of Wano.
Shit, that actually is really interesting because he has those chains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
It like,
And, like,
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like if those are sea
Yeah.
prism cuffs, I feel like that the two most likely explanations are like that either his devil fruit is so dangerous to Kaido that he wants to prevent him from using it. Like it's, I don't know, something like Toki's fruit, where it's like, oh, this would be too dangerous to leave in his hands and let him use it. And the other explanation I would is like, if he's not afraid of it, then it's probably just to prevent him from using it to leave the island.
That would be really interesting if Yamato just like parallels Odin like really hard in that way.
Oh.
I don't know. It like stuff like this does make me wonder how much longer this arc is going to go because this does feel like some significant extra character arc type stuff that's being dropped in somewhat late into the game.
Yeah.
And what about
do
the
you guys
Shimotsky
want to
stuff?
do you guys want to do questions in a second because we actually have a lot right now.
Yeah, sure. We can do questions. I guess. Anything else from
Do you
the
have some
chat?
extra thoughts?
Well, I guess we talked about the ulti thing, right? I think we can still all say that all of the Flying Six are still gonna get proper fights, right?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, for sure. I don't
100%.
think that any of like Sasaki being chained up. I think that's temporary.
Oh, yeah.
I think who else? Black Maria, obviously. Like I think they're all hopefully all gonna get proper fights.
Yeah. By the
Do you
way,
guys have like matchups in mind?
yeah, we talked about this last time already, but like just after rereading the official, also, I really like that scene between Denjiro and Sasaki just because it felt so respectful in a way. It was like
Yeah.
almost like sorry for chaining you up, but like
It
gotta
is what it
do
is.
this kind of.
A lot of people didn't like that. They thought
Really?
they thought it was like too quick. Like, oh, all of a sudden Sasuke's chained up, and in my mind I was just like, what do you expect? He completely trusted
Exactly.
Denjiro, and then Denjiro just pulled
Yeah.
a fast one. Like to me, it was just normal. I expected it, to be honest. So they wanted to see more of an exchange, but I'm like, what more do you need? You know?
Yeah. And also Sasaki to me seems like the type of guy like I'm like so far he's my favorite of the Flying Six, though I like all of them to be honest. And I'm just saying that because I think his design is really cool, but he seems like the type of guy on first impression that's not like the big thinker and the big schemer, but rather someone who's just like has firepower. That's
Yeah.
basically his thing.
He's definitely a meathead. Definitely a meathead.
Is that
Okay.
just because he's a fishman?
Maybe.
Where is this coming from?
It could be. It could be.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think at least out of the Flying Six, Who's Who or Ulti are probably my favorites. I think we haven't had a female character like Ulti in One
Ulti's
Piece
pretty
before.
It's been a while.
which is-
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, by the way, Morge, because like I think you thought she would be a.
Oh, I was so wrong.
Velociraptor,
I thought she was gonna be a Velociraptor. I made a theory video about it.
But I think it's the.
She is this dinosaur I've never.
Gotta
heard
take
of
it down
before.
now. Gotta take the video
Oh,
down, Morris.
by the way, big
Yeah.
big prize for whoever like can one of you without looking it up pronounce the dinosaur type she is?
Oh, I could. Yeah, it's a pack. Here, let me tell you, it's a Pachycephalosaur, right? I'm pretty sure. Let me tell you guys this. So I had made that theory video about. I don't know if either of you seen it. I made this theory video about what I think the Toby Roppo's devil fruits are. I made this sometime last week,
Right,
right?
right.
When Ulti landed in front of Luffy, I was like, we're gonna get this reveal next week. Why not make a theory? So, I made the video. People were throwing out options and stuff in the comments, like, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Then as the chapter approaches, and I know at this point the 983 spoilers are out, as the chapter approaches, I start getting some more comments on the video with people very casually dropping, actually, Ulti likes to butt heads with people a lot. I think she's a Pachycephalosaurus. Look it up. And it wasn't just one person, right? Like, so multiple people in spurts would drop this idea that, now I'm thinking about it, like, Ulti's character, it does remind me, it makes more sense to be a Pachycephalosaurus.
God.
Or Pachycephalosaur, or whatever the hell it is, right? And I'm just like, all right, there's no fucking way that this is just like a random
Yeah.
trend that people just all magically started having the same idea that this obscure dinosaur is what Ulti is. What irritated me is no one would just come out and say like, oh, spoilers, Ulti's this.
Yeah.
everybody was coming into the comments with this attitude like they'd figured it out
I was
themselves.
like, shameless.
What the hell?
Shameless. All of them.
Like, you know what? What a coincidence. A day before the chapter comes out, when the spoilers are already out, you managed to figure out that Ulti's character perfectly fits a Pachycephalosaur. Like, I don't know. I'm like, who are you fooling, man? So I got spoiled in like a weird way.
I definitely
but-
slaughtered that word when I did my review. I'm not gonna lie.
So anyway, people thought they were being real clever.
Go for it.
Just
like,
acting
Jay,
as though
I
they
want to hear
figured
you
it out.
say it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
Pachycephalosaurus. Yeah, there you go. Or
Nice, that was pretty
Pachycephalosaur.
good,
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna attempt it.
I take pride in
but
pronouncing
yeah, it's a
stuff
cool
like
devil
that.
fruit to have. I guess we're not having Velociraptor then, unless you think one of those other guys is a good candidate for Velociraptor.
We definitely see one thing I've noticed with these dinosaurs that Oda's using. He's not using like the textbook ones that we think of. He's always trying to think outside the box. Like, what's it called? Drake, Drake not being
Allosaurus.
a T-Rex. You know,
Exactly.
I'm just like, for real, bro. Like, you really had to pull a fast one on us with that. Come on, man. Like, and everyone wants the saber-toothed tiger. I don't think we're gonna get the saber-toothed tiger, even though I want to, and I'm hoping it's Who's Who. I'm hoping.
I hope who's the
Oh
saber
my god, that would be clean. His hybrid would probably be the best hybrid by a distance.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll be
No,
right
but
back in a
Allosaur
second.
was really a surprise. For
Well,
sure.
actually, Sasuke, because he has horns on his mouth, so technically he could be, if you think about it.
What do you think? You think a saber tooth?
Yeah, Sasuke, because of the horns, it's kind of coming out from his mouth, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I'd have to check him again, but that'd be really cool. Like a Fishman saber-toothed tiger.
That would
really
be very interesting, actually. Let me see, One Piece.
No, but the Pachycephalosaur, like the Allosaur, should have like tipped me off that he might go more obscure with it. You know, he's like for whatever reason. But the Pachycephalosaur, that's just way out. Like I don't know how many people would have recognized that on its own. So that kind of opens up like all sorts of options for the rest of the Toby Robo. Like shit we haven't thought of. You know.
Well, I'd say the benefit is that the head butting. I think a lot of us have seen that dinosaur before, especially if you play Pokemon and you know what Rampardos is. So it's just like it.
Yeah.
We know what that dinosaur is, but we never, ever, ever knew the name. When we never were gonna know the name either.
Yeah, like I played like Yu-Gi-Oh for example, so I've seen like there's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card that looks like that basically, and like I've seen that type of dinosaur. Like I know it exists basically, but again, it's not like Velociraptor, or Triceratops. Like everybody knows. Like you could ask literally anybody, they're gonna know what a Triceratops is basically. So it's just a little different. That's interesting.
Well, the prayer
Okay.
is that we definitely get some known dinosaurs. Maybe just one. All I want is one. I don't need it. Well, pterodactyl.
I think we're yeah.
Right?
No.
Oh no, it's
No,
not.
it's a
No, it's a
pterodon, dude. I
pterodactyl.
don't
It's
know
not even a
if
pterodactyl. God.
Yeah. I mean, I
Dinosaur
saw
heads
it.
going
I was
crazy in the
like,
comments.
it says. It's like, oh, this is clearly pterodactyl. I read pterodon. I looked it up. I was like, okay, so it's a little different and stuff. But then at the end of the day, I was
It's
like,
not even.
it's a
It's
pterodactyl.
not even a
It's the same
dinosaur.
thing. Like,
it's a flying reptile.
Oh yeah, wait, did you tell me
Nope.
that before? I think you told me that before.
I'm not that into dinosaurs.
Okay.
Like someone told me that though. So shame on Oda.
Flying reptile.
Come on, him.
Yeah. Do you guys
Yeah.
want to do questions
Let's do
before? I got like 20 minutes basically.
Always on schedule.
All right.
Yeah, JD, so if you go to my Twitter, you can basically find all of the questions for this week under my tweet.
All right. Oh, see you.
Oh, we got another riddle from Dritz. But it's
Yeah, so Dritz gave a
very
simple riddle
underwhelming,
this time,
Dritz.
dude.
Very underwhelming.
Yeah, but he gave a follow-up
Oh.
riddle. You know the first
Yeah,
one, right?
it's Men, right?
Yeah. It's just like the most common riddle. Do you know the
Right,
second one?
Each line is a valid 5-letter word, with its first and last letter missing. The missing letters form a word when read downwards, and the same word appears both at the start and the end. What's the missing word? Fuck.
I don't even know what's a big
I think the second one might be saber.
saber?
Maybe.
Oh, that would be right.
Fuck. Lure.
This is hard.
It's interesting. Okay. Wow, I'm struggling. And they have to be the same letter.
Is it English?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, then
This
it
is
doesn't
really
make
fun
sense.
for
Then
our
saber
podcast
doesn't make
listeners,
sense.
right? I'm sure people are
Yeah.
loving hearing us
Oh,
try to
it's
decipher
okay, I'm
like
gonna
a word puzzle that nobody else
I'm
can
just
see.
cutting out the silences at the end. Okay, we can.
Okay.
We can come back to this later.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saber's the only one I can see, right? Like none of the others.
But like saber doesn't make sense because it does have to start and end with the same letter, right?
Wait, what? Do they all do? I guess I missed the rules. Missing letters form.
Because both of the same word appears at the start and at the end. No?
Oh, okay.
No, so that you can still do Saber.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's too hard. All right, Dritz wins.
Dritz wins. Low diff. That's a low diff. All right.
All right.
Arcade Curry and Cracker coming to Wano as backup. I hope so. Okay.
Oh yeah, Marco asked this.
Yeah. Yo, Marco, you're still invited, by the way.
Shoot, yeah, we gotta bring him on at some point. Are Katakuri and Cracker coming to? I think actually no. I personally think no, just because it's weird. I feel like in between Act 3, I feel like the Blackbeard Pirates are headed to
Really?
Big
Still?
Mom's place at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of like that idea.
Why though?
and
Like
I
for
just
the
feel like,
poneglyph, or
you
why
know,
would they go there?
for the poneglyph? I feel
just
or
because they can.
I feel like something has to happen. My view is kind of like Katakuri and Cracker. They both got their fights, if that makes sense. And I don't think like if Oda, like sure, like you can have page 1 where it's like a quick fight or something like that, and then you know Oda can use him again later in the arc. Like page 1's probably gonna get another fight after this, like his main fight. But with Katakuri and Cracker, I feel like those guys have been already crossed off as like defeated villains. It would be to me like Luffy beating Lucci and then Lucci showing up in the next arc and getting another extended fight, or like same with Crocodile or Doflamingo. I just don't think that he does that often. So I think there's a reason that they were both kept behind.
I like this question. Ulti or Black Maria?
Black Maria, 100%. It's not even a debate, to me at least.
We're talking about, well, I guess you can say both ways basically. So, like obviously, who's hotter? It's Black Maria. Who's a better character? I like Ulti. So there we go.
That's fair.
Oh shit, I'm super split. I
In which category?
I think both are attractive, and I think both are cool characters. So, if I
know what's
had to, I would go with Black Maria, I guess. But Ulti's also really cool.
I think it wasn't even till this chapter that I realized that page 1 and Ulti both have their mouths covered.
Yes. I was just thinking that too.
It's not realized.
They
that.
kind of like someone in my comments said that they remind like they kind of look like Dillinger. Like if they had like shark tooth or something, that would.
Yeah.
Actually,
I guess that would make sense.
what if they? Do you think they would be fishermen? No. No.
I think it'd be wild if there's like 3 fishmen in Kaido's.
He's
fleet.
already got
I think
2.
they are definitely siblings, right? It's not just that Japanese thing where everybody's like Aniki,
Oh yeah,
Chain.
no.
Oni-san,
It looks like
sort of
they're
thing, you know?
related, or at least they
they're
grew up
related.
together or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have? You can choose Che,
Big
by the
mix.
way, if you want. Like if there's a question you want to ask, you can pick one.
Ooh. Will Yamato fight for the Straw Hats or stay a neutral force? Ooh. I think he will fight with the Straw Hats in a certain time. I think because he's gonna have to fight in general. I think if one of the Toby Roppo are gonna try and capture him, he seems pretty strong. So if he did one shot Ulti, that would surprise me actually if Ulti's just gone. But the fact that he's capable of doing that to a Toby Roppo lets me know that it's not going to be easy to capture him at all. So I felt like the way they were going about capturing him as if it would be a simple task of finding him, but they did mention it'd be a little difficult. I think Black Maria was the one who mentioned it particularly, but it's surprising to see that he has this much strength and he's using a Thunder Bagua as well, of all things. So he's gonna have to have a fight with one of the Toby Roppo if they're gonna capture him to begin with, and that alone I'll know he'll fight, and it wouldn't really be for the Straw Hats, but probably just for himself. So I don't know if his motivations are the same, but it depends on the whole Odin parallel. So I would go out on a limb and probably say the Straw Hats just because he was looking for Luffy, but he'll have his own motivations for fighting.
Yeah, I think I generally agree with that. I don't see him staying neutral because I think with a character that strong, I think you just ultimately and he's already seemingly trying to side with Luffy in some sort of a way. So I think it would just be odd if like a character that strong, just Oda kept him kind of out of the fray for the entire arc. And yeah, I think the setup just right from this chapter is there for him to basically be fighting on the Straw Hat side by the end. I will say that the one thing I was slightly disappointed in, it's not even disappointed, it's just like, because we have so many characters on the good guy's side, essentially, I had been hoping that Yamato is strong, like about as strong as we've seen, and a new villain in a way, just because that way we get more strong bad guy matchups. So
does Luffy and the Alliance really need more people against them? I feel it's already pretty stacked against them.
No, because I feel like the Straw Hats alone, like in terms of named characters on the bad guys side, I feel like there's definitely more good guys like in the alliance than bad guys at the moment, right? Like I think the problems are just Luffy and Kaido, but I would like for everybody to get, or as many people as possible to get 1v1s, and then if Big Mom and Kaido need to be more of a team effort, then that is what it is. But like to me, yeah, just numbers to numbers. I think the good guys have more named characters. Especially we just had Marco come back, like stuff like that, and now Yamato's on their side. So I was hoping that Yamato would be staying on team bad guy, I guess. But I'm interested to see where his character
I
goes.
see what you mean, but I personally think, I still think that they're like, that would be assuming that the alliance is has some people roughly equal to the top tier of the Kaido alliance, and I'm still not sure. Like I still think right now Kaido's still stronger than Luffy right now. Like the Calamities are probably still stronger than Zoro and so on and so forth, and they will have to really go all out and grow during their fight to actually overcome them.
Yeah.
So
No, I definitely agree. Like on paper they're stronger, but I'm just saying like I would bet Zoro's nowhere near or like King's definitely stronger than Zoro in my mind. But I'm like, I still hope that like they get their 1v1 fights, and if they have to grow stronger during the fight, then that is what it is. But like I'm saying, like if
Right.
you matched up 1-to-1 all the way down, it's like, oh, the good guys have some left
Right,
over
right.
by like a good amount now. So that's my thoughts. I have a question I like.
Yamato for Nakama.
That's a little not Wano related. Oh, wait,
You
sorry,
mean
what?
the question Yamato for Nakama, right? That's the question you picked.
Oh, no.
Yes, by the way.
Michael, I'd be fine with Yamato for Nakama if we get to like know him
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
better for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
This one's like not Wano related because we've been talking a lot about Wano. What are your guys' favorite islands and settings, and why? This is by Lun.
You're just picking your patrons now.
He had a good question. I don't always pick Lun's questions. I just happened to see it this time.
I'm
and
just,
like
I'm
the
just
question.
kidding. Jay, you can go. I have to think first.
So I'm a big fan of Skypiea. I think that's probably one of the obvious answers. Skypiea was really interesting. I think the whole notion of the clouds actually being solid ground, but also water or like a liquid substance as well. I think it was just so interesting to see, and like everything is just so magical and heavenly in Skypiea, and the culture is completely different. And then you have what is it called? Is it called Verth? Like where
Yeah.
NL lives as well. Like the rainforest atmosphere. I've always been a big fan of rainforests in general. I always watch the rainforest episodes of Planet Earth. But that as well, I kind of like the whole structure because then you have the same milky cloud liquid substance rivers going all the way through the rainforest, but you're still in you're still in that earthy vibe as well. So like I think the mixture of specifically NL's island, I don't remember the name, so forgive me, but the mixture of Skypiea and Earth at that one moment in time, I think that's one of my favorite landscapes and islands in One Piece.
What about you, March?
Okay. Okay. One thing I'll say on Skypiea really quick. Skypiea was awesome. The one thing, and obviously I like the arc overall for sure. The one thing that was like a little odd to me, I guess, was basically like, even though it took place in this cloud setting, at Cloud Island, Sea of Clouds, and stuff like that, Oda chose to keep most of it in the forest, like most of the arc in the forest, which, I understand the purposes for that and everything like that, but like, it's interesting. I don't know. I feel like I would have liked to have spent a bit more time in that cloud land, basically, if you guys know what I mean, because it was just like a little more fantastical, surreal, and everything like that. That's my only. Like, I wish we'd gotten more of the Skypiea part of Skypiea. That's all. But then, islands and settings wise, I think my favorite is actually Enies Lobby, because like catching up in the anime and stuff. I was like catching up to the anime. And then Enies Lobby was the point that the anime had reached at the point that I was catching up. And basically because of that, there were like lots of gaps between the episodes just because it was not as easily available at that time. So I missed a lot of the Sea Train stuff. So the episode that like was first available after like a little bit that I was able to watch was basically they were already in Enies Lobby. And it was just mind-blowing because the location of Enies Lobby, especially in the anime, is just like nuts. Like it looks like it makes no sense. It's like they've reached the end of the world pretty much, and kind of just like skipping a bunch of episodes and ending up there, and like just slowly realizing that holy shit, this whole thing is like I don't know, like an island that's like, you know, it looks like it's an island on the edge of a cliff or like a giant hole in the ocean or whatever, and it's got these huge gates in the background. It was pretty mind-blowing. I think that backdrop really made Enies Lobby an extremely exciting arc for me. And I don't think we've really had, I don't know, like Wano's really cool, but to me the visual of Enies Lobby with the huge hole around it and the gigantic Gates of Justice, I think especially the Gates of Justice in the background the entire time that they're fighting, like it takes up the entire horizon basically. I don't think we've had a visual like that in One Piece so far. What about you, Ohara?
First of all, I think I agree with you. Yeah. I think for me also, I would go with Impel Down. I really like the concept of that. And yeah, Enies Lobby also is just super cool, I think. Like, I also like these like places that have like a connection to reality, but then it has these grotesque, like these unreal elements to it. And also like I think like I've always been a fan also when it comes to video games or anything or fantasy, like these gigantuous constructions that look like they were not made by men, and like there's like, you know, you can feel like there's some other story behind it. And I do feel like these places also have like some like another story to tell, right? They're gonna pop up again in some way or form. At least Enies Lobby. So yeah, I really enjoyed those.
I think another quick shout for it's not really an island, I guess, but Ryugu Palace.
Oh yeah,
In Fishman Island.
Oh yeah.
really
Very,
nice also.
very beautiful structure. Like that whole kingdom. I didn't even notice like the little turtle shell that was like was one of the roofs
Right.
for Fishman Island. I remember that spread so vividly. It's one of the best. Jesus Lord. But yeah, Fishman Island.
Dude, I think
Someone's agreeing with you.
yeah. I think Ryugyu's become like one of those places like whenever somebody's like, oh, does Oda have good art or something? Like I think that's one of the go-to links, you know? Like I just see that somewhat frequently. If somebody's like, oh, One Piece has a bad art style, then somebody will link like Ryugyu like have you guys ever seen or read any Hunter x Hunter, for
Oh,
example?
absolutely.
Watched it.
Oh, you watched it?
Haven't read it yet.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil anything then.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll just say that there's like a certain panel, like whenever people are like, Tagashi's bad at drawing or something like that.
Yeah, I know what it's
Every time, without fail, there's like one panel that people always like. It's never been another
It
panel.
hasn't.
In my experience, never been another panel. It's literally always one panel that people will post and be like, "Actually, look at this." I bet you've never seen this before, unless you've literally never seen that question before. Everybody's seen that panel pretty much. So, I don't know. I think Ryugu Palace is kind of the equivalent. Oda obviously has like a lot of really good double page spreads and stuff like that, but I think that one's become like a go-to link for a lot of people. You guys want to do like one more question and then call
sounds
it?
good.
Sure.
I
wants to
think
pick?
Jay really wants to join the party in the background.
Although, yeah, we'll see. It seems like there's a lot of chaos out there, so I'm a little concerned.
Let me see if there's anything. What's good?
Ooh, this is a good one, actually.
Oh, go for it.
It says, what are some other series you'd recommend or are interested in that also provide interesting world building and phenomenal characters cast to follow? He said, I think One Piece Stormlight Archive share a lot when it comes to that, plus interesting evolving magic systems.
Oh, do you say Stormlight? So he's going like out of he's going for like books and stuff like
I guess
that.
it can be
then.
anything. No.
I'll keep it manga and anime then because I know the audience a little
Okay.
bit. Or actually, no, whatever.
I don't.
I think you were right. From the beginning.
I think I vaguely know the audience at least.
Yeah, go for it, Morge.
Sure. Okay, so I'll say at least for manga and anime. They said like specifically what, like world building, good cast of characters and stuff. I'll just say stuff that I like. I'd say definitely. I mean, everybody's heard this at this point, but Berserk. Ohara, I know you're catching up right now, right?
Starting is maybe a better way to phrase it. Yeah.
How far are you?
Reading the first volume at the moment.
Attaboy.
Okay. In my opinion, Berserk gets good, like really good, after. Like I thought it had a slower start for me. Not like One Piece slow start, because One Piece's
Right.
start is like
It's
super
very slow,
duper
yeah.
slow. Like it's practically a bad
I mean,
series.
it's
for, like,
it's
a while.
enjoyable. It's just taking a bit longer since I'm reading in Japanese, and that's just a bit slower.
Wait, you're reading
Yeah.
Berserk in Japanese? Oh, holy shit, dude!
Challenge.
Wow.
Challenge.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting.
That's really interesting.
I'm like, I'll be,
Watch the
I'll
Japanese
be like,
version.
I'll be like on like volume 6, and I'm like, I've no idea what's the main character actually called. I have no idea. It's like, what's this actually about?
It's definitely like
just-
Gatsu or
I
something
just like looking
that.
at the images.
Like-
it's just like
Yeah.
no, but it looks cool, and people say that it gets it really starts taking off around like the 4th volume or something. So
Yeah, I thought the first arc personally was not
Right.
strong. But then like the very next arc, like I think that's
Well,
like
I'm
the
not-
real
I'm
start
not
of the
gonna
series for
lie,
me. I
just
think that's
like
like an amazing one.
I'm not sure if this counts as the first arc where they're just like in this opening town and everything with the Lord there. That like that's like the
Yeah,
is that
you're
the
in the
first
first
arc with
arc.
the Cobra guy,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So
The
I
Black
got
Swordsman arc. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of got like a bit of JoJo vibes almost from like I know that Berserk is not going in that direction. Like I've seen a couple of panels from more like whenever people post it on Twitter or something. So I know it's not the vibe the anime is going or it has. I think I'm not sure, is it older than JoJo's? I think JoJo's actually older. But yeah, but like the first arc, you know, like with this transformation shit and the guy who turns into the Cobra, like a little bit, if you know what I mean.
No.
Never mind them.
No. I just because maybe it's been a while since I read Black Swordsman, but like I view that and like JoJo's as like kind of like polar opposite type of series,
So-
pretty much. Like, but yeah, I don't know.
Well-
Maybe I haven't read Black Swordsman. In
I don't know.
so
I just
long,
had
but-
the like. Oh, sorry. Keep going, Jay.
Do you think it's like more of you're fighting a new villain each time with a different little plot line, like the way the JoJo can be pretty episodic with the random villains that come up?
No. I mean, like, obviously the story like around JoJo is very different and the vibes different. It was just like, you know, seeing like the like this masculinity, like Guts is like this masculine type of guy, right? And then
Oh,
and
I know
then
what you're
like the
saying.
first time, like since I'm not that far in, you just have the Lord of the Castle, like he's introduced with like this mask, and then he turns out to like transform into this demon kind of. So I had like a bit of a JoJo vibe there, but like this might be me, like literally since I haven't.
No, I
yeah.
know what you mean in terms of like the I guess body type.
Oh
of
no,
the characters
not at
you
all.
want to
No,
a degree or
I
something.
rather like the story vibe of the first couple of chapters.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe I'm interested in your opinion. Like maybe 2 weeks down the road.
I'm
I
sure
guess,
it'll
basically,
change. I'm sure
'cause I
it'll
don't know if
change.
it'll be the same. Basically, yeah. Yeah, but fuck, I forgot. Yeah, Berserk is great. Very different from One Piece, I think. But then whatever. And I think Vinland Saga, if you like sailing, although it's not
It's-
like
It's
it's not a hardcore sailing series.
also it's not
basically.
really
It does
world building,
somewhat
right? Because
become
it's
that.
our world.
Oh, true. I forgot the initial premise of the question. Fine, world building.
I personally,
don't think
I
like
would
a-
like to live in the world of Vinland Saga. Like, I think that's
Dude, Vinland Saga is a brutal. There's like a lot.
oh, like maybe
You
maybe
get
if you give
pillaged
it
and
like
raped all the
five,
time.
6, 800 years to develop a bit, I think like then it might be a pretty cool world.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just kidding. So.
I don't even remember what the full question
The
was. I
world
thought it was
building.
the series that
World
you
building.
recommended.
Yeah, it has world building and a good cast of
Specifically
characters.
with world building, I don't know because I honestly don't think that most anime and manga that I've read at least do particularly good
Hmm.
world building. Like I've seen people say stuff like Hunter x Hunter is good world
I was
building.
actually
I think
about to
Hunter x
mention
Hunter is
that.
like
Yeah.
terrible world
Oh
building.
wow, okay.
Even though it's really, really good at lots of other things, but most of the shit it does is like pulled out of its ass in terms of world building. It's like now there's this thing that you've never heard of before. Now there's that thing you've never heard of before.
Now-
And like that's no offense to Hunter x Hunter because the stuff it's good at that One Piece is not good at is
Jay's
totally
ready to
different.
jump in.
But like,
Okay, so
okay, yeah, Jay,
The-
you jump in. Give your
the only
thoughts.
thing I would argue, because I don't know, I'm very sensitive to Hunter x Hunter slander in general, so like that's, but I don't take it.
Sorry.
I don't take offense to it. No, I would only say that the current arc that we have now, the world building for that is really good, very very good.
Oh, are you saying like within the? Well, okay. First of all, I took a pause partway through the boat arc because I like stuff that's heavily mystery oriented to like stack
Yeah.
up. So I don't know, but I'll say like within the boat, I don't count that world building, but I think everything happening within the boat is like Tagashi's like setting up a shit ton of shit that like I kind of just want to stack up over
Yeah,
time. So
I
like
agree
I'd say
with that.
within that context, yes. But then like, would you not agree that like the 5 countries that the entire
Okay,
world is
I see
built
what
around
you
or
mean.
something
Yeah,
was
that
pulled out of his
that was
ass.
that was a
and,
little
like
weird. But I guess I'm talking like
the
specifics.
princes were like,
Like the
okay.
NGL. I think the building of NGL was actually pretty nice. I kind of the way it was separated, the specific parts. Like you have this kind of farmland here, and then you have this wild path. Hope I'm not spoiling, by the way. Or I don't know if you finished the anime or not. Actually,
Oh, Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I finished the anime.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Okay,
wait,
okay,
it
good.
ends with the Chimera arc, right? Pretty much.
did you see the election arc?
And that's the end of the series, right?
Yes, where his dad
yeah, for
appears
the
at
anime,
the
it's
end.
pretty much.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I saw that. Yes.
So like little bits like the World Tree's pretty cool. Greed Island was pretty cool. The NGL, the formatting of NGL was pretty nice as well. And that's really all the world. That's really all the world building that's in Hunter x Hunter now that I think about it. So I guess you can't put it on the same terms of One Piece, no. But I think there's some interesting worlds that have been built.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Okay, I guess my response to that, maybe because I did like a full world building video, I guess recently. So my thoughts from that and what I consider personally, what I value in world building is different. So like, I'd actually definitely agree with you that like, just Greed Island alone, like he did a lot of really good world building even just for that location, and you know, stuff like I agree in individual locations there is good world building, but I don't count that as world building the way I see it, which is like it's not really a
World.
congruent fantasy world
I see
that's
what
being
you're saying.
like I think he's just thinking up of like individual, like to me One Piece is a world
agree,
where
okay.
like things that happen in Skypiea matter for here and then there
see what
and
you're
stuff like when was the
Yeah,
you
they're
know what I
always
mean?
like it should all be connected to one world being formed. I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
then I
pretty
agree
much.
with you. I do agree with you then. Okay.
I'm gonna.
And then to me, yeah, well, I'll just say that that's the last thing. Basically, that's partly why I don't, at least from the anime and manga I've read, I don't think like a lot of them have good world building. I'm not caught up on Attack on Titan though, and I actually think that like the point that I left off at, like a really interesting, because we were learning more about what the actual rest of the world was. I do think that that was shaping up to be something special. I'll catch up at some point there. But yeah, basically, I just don't think that, from what I've seen, a lot of anime and manga do it that well. Anyway, Ohara, your turn?
You want to say something, Jay?
Or unless
Yeah.
Jay's got a response.
I was gonna
Sorry.
mention Toriko. Toriko is very good world building actually.
Oh, I
so
haven't seen that.
I would check that out.
People tell me that I haven't read it. my bad.
Toriko's good. The ending is a little, you know how shonen series normally end, but the world building of Toriko is, I think, at the level of One Piece. Very, very good world building. I think you'd like it a lot, Mr. Morch. If you like world building, Toriko is definitely something you should check out. I haven't finished Tower of God, but Tower of God apparently has world building on the same level of One Piece, possibly even better from what I'm hearing. So those are
No spoilers.
Yeah, people have said it's better.
I'm just
so
watching the
actually
anime.
really
Actually,
interested.
really enjoying it. Like, good job
Yeah.
by Crunchyroll. I actually didn't expect like them to do an original series and it actually turning out the way it did. So I'm
Yeah,
positively
it's very-
surprised.
Crunchyroll's doing very well for themselves right now.
By the way, with Toriko, it's weird. The reason I didn't read it, because I read the first chapter. The first chapter, he like hunts down a crocodile or something like that. And like the reason I didn't keep going was actually, this might be a dumb reason, but it's like I don't like reading series that are heavily about food. Same with like Shogeki,
I love
because it's weird. Like I'm like, this is a really stupid reason, but I'm like, I'm gonna get hungry.
Yeah, you do. You
watching
do
this.
get
You know what I
hungry,
mean?
but
I'm like,
good
it's
You
part.
do
really
get hungry. Yeah,
Dude,
you
it's-
do get hungry.
that's like a dissatisfied. I'm like, I'm gonna eat a fucking peanut butter
It
sandwich.
feels pretty
'cause
legit
I don't want to
though.
afford
Like if you eat something you like and watching like Shokugeki no Soma, I feel like that works. Like for me, that works.
But like,
It does.
what if I can't eat something good right
Then
What
you
if
don't
I've
watch
gotta
it.
Eat,
Then
like,
you don't watch. That's the rule.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. I'm like, I don't want to have to be eating like a nice meal every time I watch this.
Just,
otherwise it
just eat.
like,
You
puts
just
me in a
want to
bad
eat. You
mood,
just
know
want
what
to
I
eat something. It doesn't have to be so nice.
mean?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but then I'll be looking down at my peanut butter. I'm like, and I'm looking
Just
up
don't
at the screen,
question
and I'm like,
it's not
not
enough.
this-
It's not enough.
Just make a good peanut butter sandwich. One, by the way, like most American thing ever. It's like, why do you put jelly on it? By the way, like,
wait, that's
Yeah,
an
that
American
is- oh,
thing.
yeah.
I just
Oh,
thought
that
I
is-
did not know that. Did not know
that is.
Ohara, have
Yeah,
you
I've
tried
tried it. It's like, yeah.
it?
Just lost half of my subscriber
wait.
base.
No peanut butter and jelly. Unsubscribe. We're done.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Like I don't dislike it. I don't
It's okay.
dislike it.
Would you say it's better than without the jelly?
No, I think the jelly's good. I don't know.
All right, so you got your
I don't
answer.
know.
Right
I'm
there.
like just yeah. I mean, peanut butter's dope. I'm just not sure if it belongs on a sandwich, but
Wait, really? That's not even a thing. Like you don't even put peanut butter on sandwiches.
I guess you put it on. Yeah, you could put it on bread or something. Yeah, sure. I like the way I like
wild.
peanut butter best is like when you have like chicken satay or something like that, and you have like peanut butter sauce. Like that's dope. Like
I see what you're saying.
no,
I
I
see
guess
what you're saying.
it's just one like it's just one of these very American things. Like I haven't grown up with it, so I guess I don't have all the fun childhood memories connected to it.
No, I'm sorry. It's just sometimes because in my mind, like you and I haven't come from I forget sometimes that we are from different
Right,
cultures.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like it'll just be something small, like oh, I don't have peanut butter
Right.
like that or something like that. Or I'll be like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, and you're like, what? No, it's like 11 o'clock. But more so culture based stuff. Like I don't know. Like generally, I feel like it's very similar between America and a lot of Europe. But then I guess there's lots of little things. Where
It's
you don't
very
really-
interesting because you always
realize.
it's very easy to feel like it often feels like the US and Europe are so similar, but then there's so many small, like you said, so many small cultural differences that you don't take into account. And like to be fair, you also have that inside Europe. Like you would think that like French people and German people like we're basically neighbors, and like Europe isn't that big, so you would feel people are pretty much the same. And there is like a German mentality, a European mindset. Like, but I feel like still each country in the EU is still very like they still have their very distinct culture. So, but yeah, it's easy to underestimate that. Going back to the world building question, I'm just gonna throw in one anime that I really think is very underrated and not so many people may know, and that I really enjoy, is Kino's Journey. I'm not sure if you saw that. So I'm not gonna spoil what it's about. I think it's very great. It's very political and also very dark in some parts, but I can recommend it. The world building is really great. The storyline is really great. It's a bit, yeah, like I said, it gets very dark at some places, but I can recommend that if you haven't watched it yet. I think that like, I think you Jay, you tagged me like the most influential anime or something, and I actually listed that like as the only one above One Piece because I think that it's just an amazingly written story. So it's not very long. I think it has like 12 episodes or something. So it's
Okay.
watchable.
Oh wow,
I'll check it out.
interesting.
Yeah. So
All right, I will check that out.
but it's
someday.
not shonen, so I'm like if you're looking for something more lighthearted, then I guess this is not this is not for you. But the world
gotcha.
building is
I'm
really nice, the art is really nice. Yeah. So there, I'm just gonna put it out there.
That's right on my ladder.
Alright.
I'm virtually a seinen crackhead, so for me, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Then go for it. Then go for it, and be ready to feel bad.
Oh, good. I just love pain. I'm a Berserk fan, so you know I love pain, so I'm fine with it.
My daily dose of self-loathing. Nice. Yeah. Then we can slowly wrap it up if you have to go, Morch, right?
Yeah, I do gotta go. I mean, you guys can keep going. I
Okay,
guess,
then
but I
I'll
gotta
just-
go.
I have to go too, so
Same.
yeah.
I'm actually gotta study, gotta be productive. Got my
Right.
last exam in a week.
Dude, yeah, good luck on that. You ever get that
I need the luck.
that sort of figured
Oh.
out? I guess you're just gonna study for it, right?
I got a better idea now, but I'm still not. I'm like, it's just like learning an entire course in like 2 weeks. Like I've done it before, but like this is
Alright.
just all the tech, like the coding stuff, learning a new coding language, and then like I have to freshen up on all the statistics, and it's just a pain in the ass. Yeah, we'll see. I'll make it somehow.
All right.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening. And I think, Jay, thanks so much for dropping by. It's always a pleasure talking
Of
to
course. Thanks for having me.
you. Hope we can
Yeah,
repeat
for
this
sure.
soon. And I don't want to hold you back any longer on joining the party.
Yeah, now the noise can actually be accepted.
Now you can go all out.
Yes,
Appropriate time for a beer.
absolutely. Definitely. I haven't even eaten, so I probably should eat first before that. Yeah.
No, that's overrated.
Yeah.
Oh, we already said like last time we said like, and that still stands. When we hit 10K, we're gonna do Drunk One report. So
Oh yeah.
and
for
no
sure.
breakfast,
That's
Torch.
it. Well,
No breakfast.
No breakfast?
No, that's
Okay.
you guys know I'm skinny. All right. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Good stuff. All
Subscribe.
right. That was it for One Report episode. What, 35? 38?
Subscribe to the channel and stuff. Follow us on Twitter and stuff. links to
Talk to you
Jay in
guys
the
later.
description below. All that
All
stuff.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.